Alright, recording full self-driving, going from New Haven to East Haven. I don't have anything to really attach my phone, so I had to prop it up, kind of. But I'm hoping for a intervention-free drive. So this is already something that I've been experiencing, where the signal decides to maybe sometimes engage, then disengage, and engage again. You know, it's these little things. Some people say have high expectations for full self-driving, but you know, when you spend this much money on a product and you're at an intersection where your only option is to turn right, then you expect the turn signal to remain on, not engage and disengage to re-engage. So those are just some of the things, the nuances, but we're not here to really get the small things. We'll just focus on the driving. Not sure if it could be told, but like at least you have those lights there that are green. It's ignoring efficiently. It's focused on the two lights it should be. So it is working. And here we go. It's a 5.3 mile trip, so it's not a far trip. So I've crossed traffic. It needs to, oh no, it's going all the way straight. So it's taking a little different route than I would normally do myself, but that's fine. Have a red light here. Let me see if I can just do a wider. There you go. Maybe a little easier. So New Haven, Connecticut, for anyone who's familiar, it's like a small, busy town. One of the bigger cities in Connecticut. Very busy, a lot of foot traffic, at least here in downtown, due to Yale. Traffic isn't too complicated here. Everything's kind of pretty straightforward. These aren't the areas I typically struggle in, which makes sense. So here I had it come to a complete stop. I don't know why. And yeah, I mean, I don't know why. I have to review the footage to see what it saw. It looked like it threw like a rogue stoplight. So not sure what occurred, but those are like, again, that's just an example of some of the things that occur. All the improvements with every single update that they talk about and everybody keeps boasting on YouTube is just something that, you know, I don't get experience. I always run into these little small things. I often have to, it's crazy. I actually keep my foot on the accelerator more than I do the brake, because my Tesla just tends to stop more frequently when it shouldn't. So it's easier for me to keep my foot on the accelerator so I can drive through the stop. If people who own Teslas, I think, will understand what I'm trying to say, or those who have full self-driving and have used it. So, all right. So this is what I was fearing. Tesla's taking a route that I typically don't like it to take. It's going to take it to Orange Street and then take the Trumbull Street connector. For those who are familiar, having to take that connector to then hop on I-95, it involves or asks you to jump on a highway and transfer or switch lanes, about like 3 lanes at a high speed, and it's tough to do just as a just as a regular driver, let alone full self-driving. So I'll let it do it. I'll entertain it, but I'm gonna be honest, I don't even bother half the time because it's such a hard maneuver when getting on the highway to switch lanes. I saw the pedestrian. I probably should have let them go. Yeah. Not a pedestrian, sorry. A cyclist came out from the left. I'm not sure if the engagement here showed it, but at least I saw them, and Tesla did plan for that. Oh, this is another thing that's common in Connecticut, or at least in New Haven: speed tables and speed bumps, which just historically Tesla doesn't operate on them really well. There's also a peanut roundabout on the other side of town that I do happen to frequent, and full self-driving just doesn't operate it well at all. I'm not sure. I mean, it's fairly new, so I'm not sure if it just needs to learn it. But after the first couple times of almost like driving right into the curb, I kind of like gave up on it. So there's some unique traffic patterns and things, how they're constructed. This guy just fell asleep at the wheel. So like this is going to be something that's very unique. So this Tesla takes a wide turn, just stops. Oh, and I had to just disengage because it just went to a stop. I had a cyclist behind me. So this is again an example. Excuse me as I increase the speed to follow traffic flow. So it's just an example of something that happens where just like, and like, if you've ever tried this with your family in a car, those dead stops are just so brutal, man. All right, so this is the problem. So it needs to get to the left lane, gets into it late, and now it needs to merge multiple lanes, and it actually did it really well. So this is probably one of the very few times this has succeeded in doing it, and I'll probably say because it's so light in traffic. It's a Saturday morning, so there's not a lot of traffic, but typically during Monday through Friday, this is a very congested area. And like I said, it's difficult for even a regular human driver to make all those lane switches, let alone expecting full self-driving to accomplish that. So, but hey, I'll take that as a win. But again, that's following after almost a dead stop from autopilot. And, you know, just trying to recall that particular incident, you would have to think, you know, maybe because it saw the cross traffic also turning in, but I don't know, it's one of those situations where both sides kind of have a green and people can yield whether they're staying on their own side. I'm not sure, but that's not how I would have reacted, and I'll probably have to just excuse me, gas here. I have to review the footage to see exactly what it saw versus what I saw. So, but this is what I'm talking about. Like, I always have an intervention or two, to deal with on my full self-driving runs. So, I don't know. This is not me like trying to sully full self-driving. I want it to work. I've been an early adopter of full self-driving since 2018. Long range Model 3, and I forget the exact purchase. I'm the second owner of this vehicle. I bought it back in 2019, and I bought full self-driving sometime in, I believe, 2020, but don't quote me on that. But I've had it for a while. I've tested it for a long time. I've tested it to the likes of like Canada and Florida very early on in the stages of full self-driving. And now obviously it's gotten a lot more advanced as far as like on street navigation. So, I've been trying it, but I have to be honest, man. Sometimes it's more frustrating to let it try to figure itself out and drive than to just drive yourself. And I love driving this car, so I have to be honest, I just drive the car sometimes. Again, being a Saturday, this area is not busy, but typically it is. And what's common for that off ramp onto this highway, you have cars on your ass, and Tesla sometimes doesn't change lanes right away, so it puts you basically on the outside, or it puts you like in a really difficult position, because then it slows down to road traffic, or the speed limit of 35 miles per hour, and now you're driving slower than everyone else is, and you're getting boxed out. And it's a pretty frustrating situation, but thankfully didn't have to deal with that. Like I said, Saturday, it's very light on traffic, so red light. It does have a green light turn signal. Someone ran light a little late, and I actually felt Tesla hesitate a little bit, so did well there. But this is pretty much where I'm going to end the recording. It typically does this last leg pretty well to my house as it merges here. There is this one section coming up. My phone's getting a little hot from the recording, but there's this one section coming up. We'll see if we get to it in time before my phone decides to stop recording, because it's gotten too hot. So take this right. It's like right in front of Stop and Shop too. So oh, sorry. I looked down at my phone too much. So this, back in the old full self-driving days, or the earlier iterations, for whatever reason, would merge to the right lane just to go back to the left lane. And I randomly get that every now and then, but it's definitely less common. So I do know there are improvements. I have seen the improvements. They've just been very minor. So, but that's about it. That's my experience with full self-driving. So thank you for joining me for this journey, and I don't know if I'm going to keep doing this, but yeah. Peace.